All right, so the next topic that we're going to be covering is reflection. So for our transformations, we're still doing transformations, but now we're going to be reflecting. So reflection is a transformation in which a point or object is reflected or flipped across a given line. This line is called the line of reflection. So for example, here it wants us to reflect triangle ABC across the x-axis and name the coordinates, okay? So since we're reflecting across the x-axis, our line of reflection is the x-axis. Let's see. So now we have points A, B, and C, which they already wrote the coordinates for us. So this is our triangle ABC. They wrote them down here for us. And so we're going to reflect it across the x-axis. Let's go ahead and do that. It is 2 units away. So when we reflect 2 units away. And this is now B prime. A is 1, 2, 3, 4 units away. So we count 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this is now A prime. And then lastly, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And this would be C prime. Okay, and that would be our new triangle. So then they want us to go ahead and write the coordinates and then figure out what the pattern is. So from A to A prime, the new coordinates are going to be -3, -4. For B prime, our new coordinates are going to be 4, -2. And last, for C prime, our new coordinates are 3, -7. Right? So what's the pattern here? So if we look, our x values seem to stay the same, but what changes is our y values. So before it was 4, now it's -4. Before it was 2, now it's -2. Before it was 7, now it's -7. So that means that our x value stays the same, but our y value changes signs. And so if you notice here, our triangle is on top, it gets reflected across the x-axis to the bottom. So it ends up going from the positive y values down to the negative y values. So that's what happens here. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the next one. It says reflect x, y, z across the y-axis and name the coordinates. So this time our line of reflection is going to be the y-axis. So we're going to go ahead and take our shape. This is our original shape. It's our pre-image. Before the translation, these are our points. And now we are going to reflect it across the y-axis to get our image, get our U. So we're going to count x is 2 units away, so 1, 2, and this would be x prime. Z is also 2 units away, so 1, 2. This would be z prime. And then last, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And this would be y prime. So this is what our new triangle looks like. This is the image. And so we go ahead and write our new coordinates. So x now becomes -2, 4. Our y value is now -6, 2. And our z prime is 2, or -2, -5. Okay, so now what do we notice here? Our x values did not stay the same. The numbers are the same, but the sign changed. So all of them became negative. So negative y. And then our y value, -x, sorry. And then our y values all stayed the same. 4, 4, 2, 2, -5, -5. So our x value changes, so -x and then y. Okay. So you can use these patterns if you want to figure out the coordinates. Now this next one says reflect triangle RST across the y equal to x and name the coordinates. So this one, when you reflect it, it is a little bit different. Since we are reflecting across the y equal to x line, this is our line of reflection. Okay, we're gonna have to count how many spaces away this one is from that line. Okay, and the way that we count it is we're going to count it diagonally. So if you see, that's diagonally. Okay, so that's 1 unit, that's 2 units, and then that's half. So when we reflect it across, it'll be half, and then 1 and 2, and this is a new point for T prime. And we do the same thing for S. This is 1.5, so half, and then 1, and then that is going to be S prime. And then R, we need to be careful when we count diagonally. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So once you get to the line of reflection, that's 5 spaces away. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And this will be point R prime. So this would be our new triangle. Okay, so this is the image after. So now let's go ahead and write the coordinates of R, S, and T and see what the pattern is to get from R, S, T to the new R prime, S prime, T prime. So R is now, let's see, let me count the spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is now 6, -4. And then S is now 2, -1. And T is now -1, -6. So now, if we look at our X values and our Y values, they do not match up. So my X values here does not match up with this one, but it does match up with this one, okay? This -1 matches up with this one. This -6 matches up with that one. Sorry about that. So what happens is they actually just flip-flop, okay? So that means your X values become your Y values, and your Y values become your X values. So that's the rule when you reflect across your Y equal to X line. All right. So here wants us to reflect M and P across a Y equal -X. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and draw my line of reflection. So -X means you have a negative slope of 1/1, and it needs to go straight through the center. So I'm going to try to make a straight line as straight as possible. And it goes in diagonally all the way across. Okay, so this one is similar to your Y equal to X, but instead of your line going up, it's going down. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and take this rectangle and we're going to reflect it across. Just like we did the Y equal to X line, we have to count how many diagonal spaces. So since P is half, we go half diagonally, and that is P prime. The same with M. It goes 1.5, so when we go diagonally, it should be 1.5 also. And this is M prime. And then for N, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4.5. So half, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this is a new location for N prime. And so I'm going to go ahead and connect those. This is my graph. And is that all it wants, is just a graph? Yes, that's all it asks for, to reflect it across. All right, the next one, reflect MPN across the line Y equal to 2. So we're going to have to graph this line ourselves. This is our line of reflection. So here's my Y axis. We need to find 2 on my Y axis. So this is where Y equals 2. So we need to make a horizontal line going straight through it. Okay, this is everywhere where Y equals 2. All right, so now we're ready to reflect across this line. So here is M and P, and we're going to reflect it across. So M is 2 units away, so you count 2 units away, and that's M prime. This one's 4 units, so you count 4 units, and this is P prime. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is N prime. We connect our dots, and that is our new triangle. All right. The next one says reflect M and P across the X equals 1 line. So we find our X axis. Here is 1 on our X axis. So unlike the last one, instead of going horizontally, we need to go vertically. Going through X equals 1. So this is everywhere where X is equal to 1. Now we're going to go ahead and reflect this across. So point P is actually on this line, so P prime is going to stay there. M is 1, 2, 3, 4 units away, so we count out 1, 2, 3, 4 units away, and this is now M prime. This one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is going to be N prime. We connect our dots, and that's what our reflection looks like. And last of these, it says reflect triangle MPN across the line x equals -1. Okay, so first we're going to have to draw our line of reflection, which is at x equals -1. So on our x-axis, we find -1. So here it is. We make a vertical line going straight through it because this is everywhere where x is equal to -1. Now, when you're doing this, and if you end up going this way, you make it on top of the x-axis. That's not what you want. If not, they would have said across the x-axis. You want the other direction, so just be careful with that. And so we're going to take this triangle and reflect it across. Now, this one's a little bit different because it is over the line. So this point P is to the right of the line, so we're going to have to reflect it across on the left side. So if it's 2 units away, we need to count out 2, and this is P prime. And then M is going to go in the opposite direction. So if it's 2 units away, we're going to go onto this side. This is M prime. And N is 4 units. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is N prime. And that is our new triangle. A little messy, but I think you can see what's going on. Okay, the last section, reflection of a point. So this is just reflecting on a point. With the word problem, they do not give you a graph. You can use a graph or you can use a rule. So it says, what is the image of 0, 9 after reflection over the y-axis? So remember, image is your after, okay, after the reflection, okay? So 0, 9 is your original, and we're going to reflect that across the y-axis. So you can draw a picture if you want. So 0, 9 would be something like up here. And so if you reflect it over the y-axis, well, it's already on the y-axis, so it's just going to stay there. It would be 0, 9. Okay, if I did include a graph here so we can make it on here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's where it would be if you wanted an exact picture. But this one, I don't think we really needed an exact picture. So the next one says, what is the image of -1, 7 after a reflection over the y equal to x line? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and use this graph. So we have -1, 7 to -1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, that's a point that we need to reflect across the y equal to x line. So I'm going to go ahead and draw the line. I don't know if I'm going to do the whole line, because I don't think we need the whole thing. But, well, that should work. So now diagonally, we're going to go diagonally. That's 1. This is 2, 3, and 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that would be the new point, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then -1. So our x is 7 and our y is -1. You can also use the rule that we had up here where it says here, when we reflect across a y equal to x line, all you gotta do is flip over the y and the x value. So we could have done that also, but I just wanted to practice on the graph with you guys. And then this next one, what is the image of 1, 8 after the reflection over line y equal to -x? So this one we didn't write a rule. So let's figure out what this rule is. What we are going to do is first we're going to draw our line of reflection, which is y equals -x. So on here, I'm going to go ahead and do y equals -x. So instead of going up, it's going to go down. You need to make sure that it goes through the origin. And then our rise over run is 1 over 1. Okay, so there we go. And then the point is 1, 8. So I'm going to go ahead and graph that. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so now we're going to go diagonally. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and a half. So it's half. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this would be the new point, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1. So it becomes -8, -1. So not only do the x and the y flip when it's -x, but they also get a negative sign in front of both of them. All right, so that's it. If you guys have any questions, you can leave it in the comments, or you can also get a hold of your teachers. Thank you guys. Bye.